Hare Krishna to all the assembled devotees. So we have started this new chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 10. Yesterday you must have heard 10.1 verse, the first verse of this chapter. Before I actually start, I want to just show you something. Can you see what is this? Teach. It means to teach somebody something. And this learn. It means to learn something, like in the learning process. You can read this? Is learn? Yes. Let's see the book together. Can something you figure out?
It's the same. It's a mirror. It's outside.
Yeah, exactly. It is a mirror image. It means, actually it means more to me because I got this opportunity to sit here and speak something in front of all of you. That by telling something in front of all of you, and Srila Prabhupada is also here, I am trying to teach, but it's moreover for me to learn. So that's why teach is the best way to learn. Like in my school days also, when I was studying, that time also I used to teach my fellow mates, help them in their studies. So it helps us to learn better way. Even in Gurukul we teach our boys, we make groups, we make mentors, so that good boys can help the slow learners. And like that, in both ways, they both learn. The learner also and the teacher also. So anyways, this was for me. So today's class, I want to start. Before that, I want to tell you a story behind this chapter from Gita Mahatmya. Because before we start one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's better if we hear some story of that chapter to know, like glorification of the chapter, why it is important to read the verses of Bhagavad Gita. So, as you all of know, that Gita Mahatmya is a story narrated by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. So, Lord Shiva one day was narrating a story regarding this chapter to Mother Parvati, that in a city called Kashipuri, there was one Brahmana. His name was Dheer Buddhi. So Dheer Buddhi was one Brahmana who was every time praising Lord Krishna. Whatever he do, wherever he go, whomever he meet, he was just speaking the glorification of Krishna. So Lord Shiva was himself following this person, this devotee, this Brahmana. So by seeing Lord Shiva like that, one of his eternal servant named Bhringi Riddhi, he got curious that my Lord, why is following this Brahmana like that? So he raised this curiousness that my dear Lord Shiva, why are you following this Brahmana? What austerity he has performed, so that you are means Adi Deva. You are among demigods, you are the main. And we all know the position of Lord Shiva, the Vaishnava Nam Yasasambhu. He is the first Vaishnava, if you count the Vaishnava. So he is the first one. So why he is following this person? So then, to overcome his anxiety or maybe his curiousness, Lord Shiva narrated the story that this person before was one swan. Swan, you all know. He was a swan, and one day when Lord Shiva was enjoying in the garden, in the mountain Kailash, garden called Punag. So there Lord Shiva was enjoying there, sitting there, maybe resting there. And then this bird suddenly flying and came in front of Lord Shiva. And the bird was very huge, because when the bird was flying, by his wings power, the air force which the bird was putting because of his wings, the whole trees were shaking and a lot of air was blowing, and it's like thunderstorm. So when the bird stopped in front of Lord Shiva and he paid obeisances and gifted him a lotus flower, Lord Shiva asked him, "Who are you? Why your face is white and the body is full black like crow?" So then this person told Lord Shiva that actually once upon a time in India there is a place called Surat, at the west of India. This place called Surat. So there once upon a time in a lake he was just flying, and the moment he was crossing that lake, immediately he stopped and he fell down, and his color, white color, turns to black. So even he was thinking how it happened. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just flying. So why it happened? He was very curious. Why it happened to me? And my body was white. Why it turned to black? So then suddenly once he could hear one sound from the middle of the lake that, "Please come, I'll explain to you." So then this bird went to the middle of the lake, and there he saw 5 lotuses, very beautiful lotuses, and from there one beautiful lady came out, and then she narrated that why it happened. And actually why she told like that, because she was feeling very much pity for him, that because of her he got this punishment, like his white color got black and he became senseless. So then she told that actually 3 lifetime before, she was the daughter of a Brahmana, and then the father taught him since the childhood that she should be chaste and all, like these qualities of a ladies, Matajis, that she should be chaste and all. So she was chaste to her husband after marriage. But one day what happened? One manna, the manna, the black sparrow kind of thing. So she was there, and then this lady, she was just looking at her, and she missed some of the services which she is supposed to do to her husband. And those days even Brahmanas, whatever they speak comes true. In Kali Yuga it is not so much, because the power of speech is not so much. So the husband Brahmana, he cursed that you are not serving me properly, you are not serving your husband properly, even you are seeing this black bird, so may you become blackbird in the next life. So the words came true, and the next life she became the same bird, black bird. But because she was from the Brahmana family, so she remembered that she has to become chaste and all, and she should not deviate from the path of religion. So she was very, very quiet, meek, humble bird, and she was living in the house of a Brahmana, where a small daughter also was there who was taking care of this bird. So what happened? They were the house of Brahmana, so they were regularly chanting the prayers, and they were chanting the chapter 10. Specifically, they were chanting chapter 10. So this black bird, she has memorized that, and because she was there in the family of devotees, she was eating prasadam and like that. So next life, again she got good life, and she got a life of a Apsara, a damsel of Swargloka, named Padmavati, I guess. And there she was there. So one day what she thought, to just roam around in the air, in the airplane, their airplane of flower, made of flower. So she was just wandering around the place, and what happened when she was wandering around, she saw a lake, and she just fell to just play in the water. She was just playing there, and after some time she saw our famous Muni, you know him, Durvasa Muni. He was also walking from the same way, and he saw that this damsel, she is not bathing properly, and she is bathing in the lake without clothes. It was not proper etiquette in open like that. So Durvasa Muni gave curse. That actually by seeing Durvasa Muni, out of his fear, because everybody knows the anger of Durvasa Muni, when he will see, he will give some curse. So she immediately turned herself to 5 lotus flowers in the same lake. So Durvasa Muni already have seen, and he understood that she is now hiding. So he gave curse that okay, you let it become same flowers, and for 100 years, when somebody will come after 100 years, then you will turn to your original body. And but she was already devotee. She was chanting this chapter number 10, the same chapter which we are today chanting, and and she was just passing her time in that body of lotus flower. And then when the 100 years was completed, then this black swan, he was also flying from the same lake from where this lady, this apsara became flower. So when he crossed over this lake flowers, he got cursed, because maybe it's the etiquette that we should not overflow from some flowers, something like that. I don't know exactly. So and then because of that, because the lady was very potential, because she was chanting these prayers and already she was of higher birth, like from apsara she came to that life lotus flower. So that black swan, he fell down. That was the story. And then she felt very pity that why, because of my curse he is falling and his color is changing. Then she took the opportunity to chant this chapter, and she chanted the complete chapter in front of him, and she immediately went back to Vaikuntha Loka, so that her life is successful. And by hearing this chapter, what this black swan did, he took a lotus flower and he offered to the Lord Shiva, the same story which we were talking. And then Lord Shiva took the flower and blessed him, and already he heard that chapter number 10, so he also went he took another birth of a Brahmana. His life was not so successful, means he took another birth of a Brahmana, the same Brahmana. In the beginning we start Dhir Buddhi. So he took birth of this Brahmana. But because he already heard this chapter, he already heard the glories of Lord Krishna in his previous life. So since his childhood he was devotee, because he took birth in a Brahmana family. So since his childhood he was devotee, he was chanting the glorification of Krishna everywhere. That's why Lord Shiva was following him. That because whoever will come across him, if they will hear this glorification of Krishna, they will also go back to Vaikuntha, as that apsara went. So that's why Lord Shiva was following him, that he could, because we know Lord Shiva is one of the best Vaishnavas, and wherever the glorification of Krishna happens, he personally presents. So that's why he was taking the opportunity to protect the Brahmana as well as to serve him, and hear the glorification of Lord Krishna, we all know. So this he explained to his servant, that this was the reason, because of that I am also following him and trying to serve the devotee. So like this is the nature of devotees, that they want to serve the devotees, like that. So I remember, like, Lord Shiva is one of the 12 Mahajanas, and he is like doing like that. And today is the we all know the most auspicious day, the disappearance day of one more Mahajana. Do you remember who? Bhishma Pitama. Yes. In the morning we already heard glorification of him from His Grace Gopal Prabhuji, and very very dramatically he explained the pastimes of Bhishma Pitama. Anyways, so we can easily understand that by seeing the action of Vaishnavas, Mahajanas, we can also learn from their life. So by hearing the glorification of this chapter, let's recite this verse one more time. Let's see if we can also go back to Vaikuntha immediately. Name vidu surganaha prabhavam namaharshayah aham madirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasaha. Oh, we all are here. Nobody went back to Godhead. Experiment got failed. Actually, Prabhupada is explaining in this purport, we already heard this, that although this process is very easy, simple, and we already heard the Mahatma story, that just by reciting the sloka or the chapter, just by hearing that, By reciting that, by chanting the glorification of Krishna, we can go back to Godhead. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we know Haridas Thakur, he also was glorifying the glorification of this chanting, even one name of Krishna, one name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra to Lord Chaitanya. He was saying even one time, purely if we chant, immediately we will go back to Godhead. But we are not going, we are still here. So how to understand this? So I was just looking to this purport and I could figure out, first of all, the translation. Translation itself says that neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. It means our position is like nothing in front of demigods, host of demigods, great sages who has already done a lot of tapasya and they are trying to learn about the Supreme Personality from their own effort, from the mental speculation. But what this verse is saying, they cannot understand. Then who can understand? Who can understand the glorification of Krishna? So for that, I was seeing the purport, and in that purport is explaining very clearly that the transcendental, there was one word he was saying, that this conception of God, here it is, the conception of God, their faith and devotion bring them to surrender immediately unto the Supreme Lord, and out of causeless mercy of Krishna they can understand Krishna. It means if they have faith and devotion, they can, devotee can understand the glorification of Krishna, the faith and devotion. And in one of the verse, chapter 18, 54, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kanchati, like that. In that verse, also Lord Krishna is saying, one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. So that is the state which Prabhupada also explaining in the purport in the end, that if we have that state, that pure state, then what we can do? What he is saying? We can surrender. We can surrender to Krishna. And Krishna already says in the same chapter, chapter 18, that not that one. What was that? 18.66. Sarva dharman parityajya. You all know this sloka? So he is saying that leave all the religion and just surrender unto me. And then you don't need to fear. Masacha, no need to fear. I will take all your sins. And you just perform your all actions in the, means in Krishna consciousness. If you like, in another verse he is saying, Man manava madbhakta. So, if we just do our actions in Krishna conscious way, just keep Krishna in center, then we can understand. That is the faith, that is the devotion which we have to perform to Krishna. So, in the purport, Prabhupada explaining in somewhere like why Krishna comes to the earthly planet, means why he comes. Sometimes this question can come to us, why Krishna himself come? He is a God, he can just think and the things will happen. Then why he personally comes? This question will rise, like why he personally comes. So there's a story behind this. Like you must have heard the story of Akbar and Birbal. Once upon a time this question was raised, it's a very important question. Why Krishna himself comes to execute his pastimes and all. So Akbar also raised this question. Your God Krishna, you are saying he is supreme, then he must be having a lot of armies and everything, like lot of associates. Why he himself comes? So that time Birbal didn't give answer. Birbal said, one day I'll give you the answer. I will in dramatic way he will give answer. So after many days, what happened? Akbar thought to have a riding boat. So in that, Birbal was there, Akbar was there, and Akbar's newly born baby was there. Actually, baby was not there. Birbal already planned before, and he kept a dummy baby. And Birbal was having the baby in his laps, and he was playing with the baby. And suddenly, what he did, immediately he just through the accidentally he shown that it happened accidentally. He threw that baby in the water. So immediately, although see, when the king goes to this kind of play, many soldiers also go with him. But when this happened, Akbar didn't order anybody to bring the child. Immediately he jumped in the water to get his child back. And when he got a child, he understood it was just a game from Birbal. And then Birbal explained him that, you see, you are having a lot of armies. Everybody is waiting for them. On your one order, they can immediately jump and get your son back. Then why you jumped? Then he understood that we all are the son of Krishna. So when he see that we are not able to understand, we have no attachment. We have no attachment to his holy names, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nam Nam Kari Bahuda, Nisarva Sakti, Tatra Pita Niyamita Smarne Na Kahala. So in that he says, we have no attachment to chant these holy names. Although all the powers are there in the holy name, still we have no attachment. So that's why Krishna himself comes to perform the pastime. So that in one of the verse, chapter number 4, he says, chapter 4.9, Janm Karm Cha Me Divyam, where he tells the reason why he comes to the material world. So there he says that Janm Karm Cha Me Divyam Yome Tattva, something like that. So in that verse he says that he personally comes to perform activities so that the devotees can hear, and they can by hearing only they can get that Krishna prema. In the purport also Prabhupada is saying that by hearing and chanting, somewhere I read in this purport, Prabhupada mentioned by hearing and chanting. So the process is by hearing and by chanting. And I was also reading one of the lecture by Srila Prabhupada on the same verse. There also he was explaining. He was mentioning that we no need to become blind. Like somebody is saying, we just follow. No. Prabhupada is saying that we can use our reasoning power, logical power, and we can try to understand. Although our senses are imperfect, but we can try under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. Prabhupada is mentioning in the lecture that if we hear from the bona fide spiritual master, then this knowledge will be revealed to us. In one line, Prabhupada is saying that yes, as soon as we become submissive and hear from authorities, then the whole thing will reveal within yourself. Very important line. Like we no need to put extra effort because our senses are imperfect. This verse already Krishna is mentioning that at max what we can do, if the great sages at max they are doing mental speculation, they may reach to the impersonalism, means Brahman platform they can reach, they may. But senses are imperfect. So what to do in that? So just find one bona fide spiritual master and surrender. And the moment you surrender, means the moment you become submissive and hear from the bona fide spiritual master, then this knowledge reveals from within. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Reveal within yourself. So this knowledge will reveal from within. This knowledge of Krishna consciousness. This the big things, the transcendental and pure devotion, pure devotional service, everything. This will come from within if we surrender to the spiritual master. So we have to find. In that lecture, Professor mentioning that in the beginning we can test. We cannot test Guru, obviously, but we can try. And the method of testing, he's saying that in Gita also Krishna explaining Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. So how we can test? He's not saying test means bring a question paper, give to Guru and he will solve and then he will pass it. No, not like that. He's saying Tad vidhi pranipatena. You ask questions to him. Not in the challenging way, out of means curious to know, like for your understanding. Like I remember when I was in a college, so I was having many questions. So that question was not able, means nobody was able to answer me. Obviously my friends, why they will answer my questions. So one of my friend, he was going to the ISKCON and like he was there. So I was asking questions to him, and he was not answering actually. Now I understood. He was not answering. That was his humility. If not like he was not knowing. And then one day he took me to the one of the lecture, and there I asked the question, and from there, like he answers, more question we can ask, more answer we will get. So like this we'll understand. And one more thing Prabhupada is mentioning in the lecture, that it's not like something will tell that okay, now you become pure devotee. Now you got first nation, second nation, now you are pure devotee. No, it's not like that. Prabhupada is mentioning in the lecture that once if we eat some food, no need to give a certificate to us. Okay, now your stomach is empty. You are like full. You feel this feeling is within that now okay, now I'm full. I don't want any more. This feeling is within. When we eat food, we feel like now my stomach is full and my hunger is over. So similarly, if we follow this process sincerely, under the instruction of our Guru Parampara, so by that process we will feel natural anxiety freeness. Like this material world is called as dukhalyam sasvatam, like full of miseries. This world is full of miseries, but this when misery will come, anxiety will come. So we all want peace. We all want to live anxiety-free life. So this happens automatically when this process works, and this process will work only we have to surrender submissively to our Guru. And then one more thing is there, not like anybody Guru, like Prabhupada mentioning, like it's not like any Tom, Dick and Harry will make a Guru. No, it should be in proper parampara. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself saying, Evam parampara praptam. So you can achieve me in a parampara, bona fide disciple succession coming from Krishna. Like there are 4 bona fide sampradayas, Rudra Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. So like that, like ISKCON we know, it's coming from Gaudiya Math, and then Brahma Madhya, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we are from Brahma Sampradaya. So like this, from one Sampradaya, from one disciple succession, you can take this knowledge. And then try to surrender there, be submissive there, ask questions. You can test, no problem. It's not like somebody is forcing you. No. Ask questions, and then slowly, like in the beginning, nobody like chants 16 rounds. Like you all are here. In the first day, nobody chants 16 rounds. Slowly, we start with 2 rounds, 4 rounds, then more faith increase. Like I remember, in the beginning, I was chanting 4 rounds. The first day I chanted 4 rounds. And then I heard, maybe I don't know, I was a little, so I asked, what is the basic to follow this bhakti movement? And they said 16 rounds. And then for my 4th, 5th day I started 16 rounds, and then carry on I started increase my rounds, some rounds, but now I'm telling only 16. Anyways, so in the beginning we start slowly, and then keep clearing our doubts. Like this movement was there, Prabhupada did a lot of struggle. He went to Western countries, and there he preached, and he converted many APs also, and like that. So we can easily understand that this process is not false. This process is not fake. We can understand. From within, this feeling will come. Like after being in the movement for 10 years, 20 years, and 40 years, people are here. Why? There can be only one reason. That is truth. There cannot be any other reason. One time I asked to one of the Prabhuji in Bhagavatam lecture that is there can be any other reason also? That one reason is this, that this everything is truth and we don't need to leave this. Is there can be any other reason? Maybe some fear, some peer fear, or maybe some societal fear. Then he said, this fear you surrender to Krishna. This fear also give to Krishna only, and then keep continue the process. And he was saying very correctly that this process itself gives happiness within. Then nobody want to leave. In the beginning we might try, like we know the stories from Prabhupada days that some devotees were leaving, and then after many years when they came back, so Prabhupada was very happy, because once you are like injected this dose, you cannot leave. You have to come back. This because process is right, process is true, and many people already got benefited by this, and is still benefiting. So there actually the purport is very long. I can make many points out of it, but But I think we should stop at this point. If you have some comments or maybe question. ग्रंथ राज भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की,